Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Yaz and I make uni, fashion, lifestyle content. And today I'm going to be talking you all through everything that you need to know about going to LCF or UAL in general. I am a first year student, so I've only been here for 3 months. 3 months yesterday. Wow! Wait, time is flying by. Basically, I study at LCF, I'm doing fashion marketing at the Holborn campus, and I keep getting questions basically asking me different things about LCF and UAL in general, so I thought I would just film this one big video, tell you everything that you need to know, except it's definitely not everything that you need to know, it's just what I know. I feel like I can help people out. People are applying to uni at the moment, I know that because I was doing it this time last year, so I feel like I need to get this video out ASAP Rocky because I want to help people in any way that I can with the application process, choosing your course, all of that jazz. And if you do enjoy the video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and if you want to follow me on my uni journey, I am vlogging a lot, so feel free to hit the subscribe button and join us. Other than that, let's just get started with the video. Of course I've planned it all, like the planner I am. So we're going to start off with the application process. So as I previously mentioned, I'm studying fashion marketing, which is at LCF. So basically my course is part of the fashion business school, so there's 2 different parts. There's like 2, but I did 3 hands. Good. There's 2 different parts. We've got the fashion business school, and then I don't really know what the other one's called, but practical, like what you think of when you think of fashion uni. No, I look not quite like I'm going to fashion uni currently, but it is a Sunday evening, so just give me a break. So I can't speak on behalf of the fashion design courses or like arts and stuff like that. I know a bit about it, but my course is quite different in terms of the application process. So I'm going to speak briefly about the arts courses and then tell you more in detail about mine. So for arts courses such as any type of fashion designs, you've got women's wear, men's wear, design development, textile development, fashion printing. The list is endless. I'll put it on the screen, but if you are watching this video, you've probably already seen. Also things like fine art, graphics, textiles, anything that isn't directly linked to fashion. Most of them are done at Chelsea, Camberwell, Wimbledon, CSM. And then there are some design courses at LCF. From my experience, most of the courses at LCF are more part of the fashion business school. Of course, there's LCC as well, and LCC is like not linked to fashion at all. It's more communications and business based. There's a bit of film, media communication, PR. Yeah, it's basically just a more broad range of subjects that aren't linked directly to fashion. I know that for all of the arts courses, you need to have portfolios. They are ridiculously important, like so important. You need to get on them right away. If you haven't already, then hurry up because they ask for them pretty quick. I mean, to be fair, UAL take quite a while to reply to your UCAS, generally speaking. So don't like stress, but once you've applied, you need to make sure that you've got your portfolio ready to go. Secondly is interviews. I've heard that these are also really, really important. Obviously they ask you loads of questions linked to your course. I think you do have to do them normally, but for my year we didn't because of COVID. Got lucky basically. But I would say make sure that you research your course thoroughly. You know exactly what the course entails and how that is going to benefit you in the future. Have a sort of idea of what you want to do with the course post uni. Obviously that's not the biggest deal in the world because I don't expect you to know exactly what you want to do after uni because it's all about like finding yourself and all that shit, but just a rough idea is good to be able to talk about. Second one is going to sound a bit strange, but if you do have an interview, don't overdress in like designer everything. Basically, when I was at college and I was telling my art teacher that I would like applied, she said if you go to an interview, don't overdress in designer, and I was like not gonna happen, for one, but 2, why? And basically they had a student like at my college apply. She turned up in like, I think it was like Valentino shoes, and then like I don't even know, but she was just like dressed head to toe in designer, and they essentially said to her, you don't need to go here, you can live off your daddy's money. Unreal. So yeah, don't do that. Obviously look fashionable, or fashionable for you. Everyone's style here is so different, like massively eclectic mix. Dress how you want to dress, as long as you feel comfortable. At the end of the day, it's the most important thing, and they want to see you for your work and your interests, so there's no point dressing as someone that you're not. So you don't have to be like the most confident person in the world, just like making sure that you're trying your best to engage with your interviewer and make eye contact, properly listen and take in their questions so that you can answer fully. Obviously they're going to be scary, but everyone has to do them that is applying for your course. Like, it's really not the end of the world. And just practice, to be honest. Like, do it with anyone, do it with your mum, do it with your friends. I'm sure a lot of your friends will be applying to uni as well. You can find loads of questions online of previous LCF questions. If you and your friends both do that, like they get their unis, and then you can just ask each other, and like there's just no judgment, and you're never going to see these people at the end of the day, like, again, so it doesn't matter. You just got to give it your best shot because you've only got one shot. Okay, thirdly, personal statement. So this is where the fashion business school comes in a little bit more. Obviously you need a personal statement for every course. For the fashion business school, I actually only needed a personal statement. I didn't need a portfolio, I didn't have an interview, anything like that, literally just personal statement. So there was a lot riding on it, and I needed to make sure that it was really, really good, and I spent hours on it. Some tips I have for personal statements. The interest that you have for your course, you need to apply it to your work outside of college. Obviously briefly mention college and like your A-levels that you've chosen, but at the end of the day they can see that on your grades. So I personally would steer clear of that and focus more on what you do outside of college and just sort of try and tie in the A-levels with that. So I personally spoke about what I did during COVID because it's massively important for me and my year of application, because obviously we weren't in college a lot of the time, so we had to talk about what we did with the time in lockdown. Basically, I personally wrote about like this little business that I made. It was literally tiny. I was just painting on wooden letters and like selling them. Like, I did market like the whole thing, made business pages and all that sort of thing. So I just really bigged that up for one. I spoke a little bit about my social media. At the time I did have a fashion blog. I didn't do YouTube or TikTok or anything like that. At that point the blog was the only thing I had going, so I spoke about that quite a bit. I think that speaking about what you did during lockdown, if you did something useful, is still a good idea, even though it's sort of better now. Secondly, it's kind of in the name, but personal statement, you really need to make it personal to you. I did use Unifrog, which is a really good website for personal statements. It helps you structure them and like asks you different questions and stuff to answer. But overall, I would say try not to make it too robotic and too structured. I don't know how to describe it. Like, they read hundreds of personal statements. They will get bored if you're just saying, I like this subject because I have always enjoyed this since a young age. They are going to fall asleep. Looking for your creative flair. You don't have to be the best writer in the world, but you need to try and make it a little bit different, a little bit interesting. Try and get your personality and your love for the subject onto the page as well as you possibly can. Thirdly, I would definitely reference your favourite brands, your favourite bloggers, podcasts, designers. Not all of them because you won't have enough words. I think the word limit is quite small. At least one or two of them, because they're so current. You need to be current. The whole thing with LCF at the moment is like looking forward and the changes within the fashion industry. So if you do actively read any fashion blogs or listen to podcasts, that is a great thing to mention. Business of Fashion, that's a good one. Any like iconic Instagram accounts, Diet Prada, Vogue Business, Vogue Runway. Fourth thing I've got in regards to personal statements is to try and sort of explain your course, like not obviously literally because they know the course better than you, but make sure that you're proving that you've done research on the course and the fact that you know exactly what the course entails. So for me, fashion marketing, I focused a lot on how I'm both academic and creative, and I wanted a sort of balance of the two. So I basically just detailed what fashion marketing meant and how I thought I was appropriate for that course. And last thing for personal statements, this is so important. There are major topics within the fashion industry at all times, but especially at the moment we've got things like sustainability, digital technology. Try and mention major fashion topic and how it is important to you. Personally, I spoke about it from the point of view of a consumer. So as a consumer, I'm trying to be more aware, more conscious of my impact on the environment when I'm purchasing fashion, that sort of thing. Moving on to choosing the right course. This, I know, it's freaking difficult. Like, there are hundreds of courses across UAL and even just LCF on its own, and I didn't even realise how many there were until I came here. And like every person I meet is just doing a different course. Like some of them never even heard of before. Like a lot of them are quite intertwined and sort of similar. It wouldn't be the end of the world if you applied to several which are similar, so you can use the same personal statement. But also this is really dependent on whereabouts you want to be in London as well. So like fine art, for example, there's so many. There's like,
I think it's like Camberwell, Chelsea, Wimbledon, CSM.
The locations are so entirely different. Like CSM is King's Cross and Pancras, like it's literally like central London. And then you've got something like Wimbledon, which is really far out, or Chelsea, which is like the other side of Victoria. Completely different vibes all from each other. So if you can visit the sites as well, that's really, really helpful. I couldn't because of COVID, so we love that. So it is a lot to consider, but ultimately course is the most important thing. But you don't want to be doing a course that you love somewhere that you absolutely hate, because it's just going to take away the magic of it. So definitely do have a little look at that and consider that. Do you like my Christmas backdrop, by the way? Oh my god, this is the last video you'll see in this room for a while. Last but not least, because I'm aware that this video is getting so long and I never do long videos, I feel like I'm going to bore people, so I can't do it for that long, even though I could literally talk for England. Last but not least, we've got accommodation. So as you can see, I'm in my little room here. I love my room. I'm living at Sketch House. I do have a room tour actually, so I will leave that linked below. It's in North London. It is great. The actual accommodation is really, really nice. It's in a really good area. So easy to get to central London. It's in zone 2, so it doesn't cost that much either to get to central London on the tube. Quite expensive, but London accommodation does tend to be, and UAL accommodation in particular, so do bear that in mind. I would 100% say that UAL like bump the prices up of their halls, 1,000,000%. I have friends in private halls or like private student accommodation, and it is miles cheaper and nicer and bigger. Obviously you're with different people, so you do run the risk of not getting on with your flatmates or something. I mean, obviously you get that here as well, but overall you're with like-minded people, which is nice. Some of my really good friends are actually at the costume store, which is the complete other side of London, which is very annoying. So it is a bit further out, but it is also cheaper. But then you've got to consider that you have to pay more for travel costs. Like everyone I've met that goes to the costume store is just so nice. I get a lot of CSM students at Sketch. High Line, I've heard, has quite a high percentage of international students. That building is lovely, and it's very near LCC, which is in Elephant and Castle. So making friends at halls, I found it a lot harder than I expected. I think the thing is, when you come to London, is a completely different vibe to campus uni. I just think it's so different because the city itself is so huge. So it's all about like traveling like halfway across London to get into class, and everyone's always busy and on the move. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it, but it is completely different. Like I have visited my best friend in Bristol the other week, so much more sociable. Not that it's not sociable here, but like, you know when you just have like that image of you go crazy at uni in your head. I feel like that doesn't happen so much here. You definitely get a lot more privacy, especially at my accommodation, because everything is like key fobs. Whereas like my friend's flat in Bristol, you could literally just walk into her flat. I was like, oh, like the door's open. Like you can't do that here. It's definitely more structured, which I prefer, but it's 100% down to personal choice, so do bear that in mind. You might not get the typical uni experience if you're coming to London or UAL. So last but not least, I'm just going to quickly talk about living in London and terms of finance. Well, obviously London is very expensive to live in, and every single person that I told I was coming to London before I came was like, oh, you're gonna be skint. And like, okay, yeah, like it is so expensive. You pay like £11, £10, £11 sometimes for a double, like at a club or something. Someone tried to charge me £15 for a single. Boycott Tiger, that's all I can say. However, it is 100% doable. Pretty hard £13 litre bottle of vodka from Lidl, you're on your way. Do you know what I mean? I've probably bought about 3 drinks at clubs the whole time I've been here. When you go to bars and stuff, that's when it gets expensive, or like if you're going for dinner. And like, I do those things because I enjoy them, and I personally save my money so that I can do those things, but it's definitely not that crazy. I came from near Brighton, like the south coast, so it was not majorly different in pricing anyway. I definitely would pay the same for some drinks at home and stuff like that, so it wasn't a massive shock to me. But I do know that I have like friends from up north who used to pay like £3 for a double, and they come here and they're like, £10, are you having me on? And so I mean, obviously it depends where you're from, like the differences, but it's definitely doable. I have a job, I work 16 hours a week. I also spent the whole of summer saving before I came, but I still did need a job. I mean, I would have like survived, but I like knowing that I've got like a steady income so that I can enjoy doing nice things. So personally, I would recommend getting a job. That is everything for today's video. I really hope that it was helpful. I've literally rambled on for half an hour. I have never filmed for so long, and this is going to take me probably about 5 hours to edit, so we love the vibes tonight. We're going for dinner soon, so I need to go and get changed, and I hope that you all enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you did, and if you want to see my LCF progression, journey, vlogging, life, fashion, fitness content thrown in there. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all in next week's video. Bye!